You're in romantic love, and everything this person does, the way they walk, the way they talk, you're absolutely in awe of it. Your neurochemistry is absolutely in sync. Your serotonin levels are correct. Your dopamine levels are correct. Pharmaceutical companies hate you because you do not need antidepressants at this point in a relationship. Right, this went on or goes on a year, 15 months, and you're moving together, and oh boy, things change. Now you hit the next phase called power struggle. And the very thing that you liked about your partner, the very things you liked about your partner are the very things you cannot stand. Right, so if you thought your partner was fun and energetic, now you're thinking, when will they ever grow up? Can't they take life seriously? Or if they are rational, logical, objective, you think to yourself, are they really going to carry on life being so boring? And so the very things that attracted you are the things now that put you into the power struggle, and you go through the next stage. And in the next stage, the power struggle, there's 5 phases. Shock. Cannot believe you're in this place. How did it move from being so brilliant to so terrible? After shock, you go into denial. This happens to all relationships. You run to indigo books. You buy men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And so you see, we're not meant to get on. But psychologically, you cannot remain in denial either. So what do? You go to anger. There's 2 types of anger. There's overt anger, where there's a lot more screaming and shouting, and the neighbors know that they've got neighbors. And there is covert anger, where you start punishing each other in covert ways. So if it's, I know when it was my turn to cook, I just put a lot of salt because I knew my wife doesn't really like salt. And she tried to slip a little bit of fish into my chicken one day because I'm allergic to fish. But it was just enough to make me have a bad night, not to take me out. But anyway, that's what happens in anger. But you go to bed every night together, so you cannot continue like that. So you're going to the next stage, which is bargaining. And bargaining really is what I call the beginning of the end. And what happens in bargaining is you start developing exits. And there's different types of exits. There's moral exits. So, for example, one person might decide to become, from being the biggest atheist, they now become a big churchgoer. But after exits, you get into despair. And 3 things happen in despair. 68% of marriages don't last. 27% lead a parallel existence. They say this is as good as it gets. And 5% actually make it. Okay, terrible statistic. 68 don't make it. 27% say this is as good as it gets. Not immoral, but they just start getting their needs met outside of the relationship. 5% actually do make it. So let's look at an organization that implements some new change, some new system. And there is resistance, there's a power struggle. People will go through this. And often leaders and managers aren't cognizant of that, firstly, that it's happening, and 2, that it's normal. We mustn't think that this is not normal. What we need to do is to be able to manage it. And how do you manage it? Is through managing the conscious relationship. And the conscious relationship, there's a toolkit of interpersonal skills, psychological models that enable leaders and managers to manage the power struggle, to recreate romantic love, that they can be more engaged in the change process.